Hello everybody, it's Danielle, and today I'm going to talk about my TBR. Haven't talked about it in a while. And just kind of like, this is kind of like a hopeful type of TBR slash books I'm mentally trying to prioritize. Obviously, as a mood reader, there's no commitment to this because things shift and change all the time. But let's go through what I've got. I'm going to start with The Wren and the Holly Library. I'm not calling this a DNF because I started reading it. I did like it. I just felt like it was not a good time for me to read it. And I have spoke to other people who basically were like, it's good. I also have The Robin and the Oak Throne. I do know there's a third book in this series. I'm not sure when I'm going to get to this. However, I've definitely bumped it up in priority. And I might read these on KU just because of convenience sake. Sometimes it's just easier for me to read things on my Kindle. Not that I don't like reading physical books. Obviously, I do via bookshelves behind me. But I would like to get to this sometime in the next few months. Maybe not necessarily by the end of 2025. Obviously, maybe at the beginning of 2026. But the Wren of the Holly Library series I would like to come back to at some point soon. Clearly, I must have liked Bride a lot more than I thought I was going to because I have bought several Allie Hazelwood books that I have not currently read. I would have to say that Mate is probably further up on the TBR with it being October. I don't know if I'm going to get to this month. I was really hoping that once I finish The Damned that I'd get to this. I might not get to this month, which is totally fine. But I have Mate of Allie Hazelwood's, Deep End, and then I picked up Not in Love, thrifting over the summer. So clearly I must want to read her books. I just haven't gotten to them as quickly as I was hoping to. So I try to kind of alternate between like hardcore fantasy romance and like contemporary romance. Sometimes I'm really good at that. Sometimes I am not. But these are for sure staying high priority on the TBR. And hopefully I will read Mate, if not more, of her books before the end of the year. Now, my next two books are kind of not necessarily ones I'm going to get to this year, but I want to maybe prioritize them a little bit more, is The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake. This is one that I've heard good things about, but I don't know a lot of details, and it just sounds like something that I would really enjoy. I did thrift this, so this might be like a work book, considering I don't really have a lot of YA and middle grade books lined up. I'm currently reading a YA series right now. I'm going to argue it's a new adult series, but I digress. The other series is the Bewitched series by Lauren Thalassa. This is technically the second book. This is Bespelled. I will probably read this series on KU when I get to it. I just so happened to have thrifted the second book, and I was reading her other series at the time, and I was like, I like this author's series so far. I might as well pick up a copy of her second one as well. Then we've got A Forbidden Alchemy. I have the Walmart edition with the infamous knot sticker on the cover. It's got pretty sprayed edges. I definitely think this will be very much a vibes read from what I understand. So I'm not sure if I'm going to prioritize this one to try to get this in before the end of the year. I would like to. I'm hoping it's going to be kind of cheeky, like, oh my gosh, I'm having a mind. Kind of hoping it's going to have like a Shield of Sparrows moment for me, because Shield of Sparrows, I was reading it and then I got to a certain point. I was like, I know this is going to be really good. Kind of the same thing with this. I've heard really good things and I'm hoping that I enjoy this. I'm hoping. The Familiar. I keep saying that I'm going to read this, and I keep pushing that I'm going to read this. And honestly, I think that once I'm done reading all of the physical books that I'm currently reading, I think I'm just going to read this. I understand that this is historical fiction, but I loved the Shadow and Bone books so much. The entire universe. I loved that entire series. All of them. So I just need to jump into this because I'm 99% positive I'm going to enjoy this regardless of it being more of a historical fiction. But I feel bad because every time I get a new book, I feel like this one just gets put down a peg and down a peg and down a peg. I do want to get to the familiar 100% before the end of the year. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to read this before the end of the year. Fingers crossed. Lastly, I have The Things Gods Break. This is the sequel to the games Gods Play, and I'm excited to read this. I actually just might start reading this anyway because the first book was one of my top reads of 2025. So who knows? I might just jump into this anyway because like I said, I loved the first book so much, and I can't wait to see what is in this. And obviously, like this TBR that I'm working with is changing constantly. I add stuff all the time, and because I'm a mood reader, I tend to sometimes I'll pick up something and it's just not the right vibe. And then, a couple weeks will go by, sometimes a couple months, and then I absolutely will just dive right into it. So, like I said, this is more kind of what I'm hopeful and would like to get to before the end of the year, maybe beginning of next year. But yeah, this is some stuff that is on the TBR. Some stuff is old, some stuff is new. Yeah. So thanks for sticking around and checking out what's on my TBR.